Hi guys, welcome back to Geekigai episode 2. So I think for today we are actually talking about Studio Ghibli cause now there's actually a Studio Ghibli exhibition at Art Science Museum, and for us we actually have watched a lot of films, anime films already, and definitely for us we have watched before Studio Ghibli films. So today it's all about Studio Ghibli, and we actually invited one of our editors. Yes. Why am I stuttering? But yes, when our editor over here, Nick is our editor, so he edits all our videos. And at the same time, we invite our good old friend Stylus over there. So Silas or Stylus again? Silas. Silas, yes. Hello Silas, can you introduce yourself for us?
Hi, I am Silas, the leader of the Oni Kindness group.
Okay. Very, very nice. Okay, so we'll be hearing more from Silas later. And also Nick, can you do a short introduction for the audience also at the same time?
Hi, my name's Nick. I don't usually do anime-related stuff. I actually run a Nerf YouTube channel called Project Argus Films. But the reason why I'm here... What? Damn! What is this?
No self-promotion.
Okay, I don't edit your video. Anyways, so I'm here because I really love Studio Ghibli. I think I've watched almost all the films. Don't tell me how long it took to find those clips, but I watched it.
Oh, but actually you can watch all the Studio Ghibli movies on Netflix right now.
Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
Actually, most of it is actually on Netflix
Yep.
right now. Even the sad ones. Yeah, if you know what I mean.
The sad one.
Actually, I think all of Studio Ghibli movies are pretty poignant and sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
elements
true.
of that.
Correct. That's actually very true. But we are just gonna deep dive all the way into Studio Ghibli for today. So fun fact. So I don't know if you guys know, there's actually 3 Batman actors, right, that actually voiced do a voiceover in Skibidi.
No. Wait.
Skibidi. Okay, sorry, my bad, not Skibidi, but Studio Ghibli productions before. But however, we will review it when closer to the end of the episode. So stay tuned to actually find out more who these Batman actors are in the films itself. Guys, so for the first question today is since we have watched a lot of Studio Ghiblis before, right? What's your first exposure? Which film is your first Studio Ghibli film that you watched?
Wow, that's a good question. I think the first one I ever really watched was My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys know. Totoro.
I can't relate.
Can't relate.
Because for me, my first one was Spirited Away, as everyone else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. I think I will watch 3-4 times.
3-4 times. Wow.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
My very first one was Princess Mononoke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
I think I was in overseas or something like that, because I remember I was still watching it in one of those really old CRT TVs. It's not,
CRT TV.
Yeah, it wasn't flat screen, okay? It was a CRT TV, and it was very old school. And and I didn't even know it was a Studio Ghibli show. I just watched it and I was like, oh, this is so interesting. Something very different. Yeah.
But I really like Princess Mononoke though. I think the entire artistry, and also I think the fact that it's actually a very good story about the human impact on the environment, human versus nature. I really like that, the contrast between it. And it's one of the films that I think, right, if let's say never watch, right, people that never watch Studio Ghibli, I would really recommend
That's the first one to watch?
Yes, correct. Don't start with Spirited Away, although it's good, but then I think Princess Mononoke is even better.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it's such a deep film as well,
Yeah.
And then the soundtrack, the art, and everything is just fantastic as well.
And I totally ship the Ashitaka with
Okay.
That ship has sailed for me already. Yes. Yes.
A movie about how mankind has irreversibly impacted the nature, and you're just focusing on the ship.
Focusing on the wrong messages here.
The wrong messaging.
Well, there's a ship. I will definitely be on board on the ship. Don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, end of the day, I think the film is actually really, really good. I think really have aged very well in the past few years, especially when it comes to climate change and when it comes to human impact on the environment itself. I think Princess Mononoke is something that really showcase in a very layman terms and very sort of digestible, kind of how to say it makes it very digestible for people, especially when it comes like, if you watch it like last time and then you watch it now, it is actually like, it aged very very well, because it really reflects on the current climate of our current situation at the moment.
Yeah, it's an evergreen message.
Yes,
I
correct,
think
it's
from
evergreen.
Back then when it came out, it was like, what, 25 years ago?
Yeah.
It's quite long
Yeah,
ago.
we're almost at 25. Can you believe it? Because we just turned 2025, didn't we?
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
message is still the same about environment and
Yeah.
how human is encroaching on nature and exploiting it for their own greed.
Definitely.
That's why it's like it's like, it's so me personally, I feel that, when it comes to the message, and also because I'm very someone that really loves like this kind of like films with this kind of very deep messages in terms of like, how to say, like environment, and then after that, human impact. So sometimes like, I don't like to like have a film that portrays mankind as the hero. So it's like, I like
Another
it.
film is Mankind.
Yes, correct.
Well, in that
Yes.
case, you might like the film Porco Rosso. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I heard Porco.
So Porco Rosso is about an Italian airplane ace.
It's a pig, right?
Yeah, so the guy turns into a pig. So you'll like this because the main character is a pig.
It's not human.
He's not a human.
I mean,
But-
yeah, that's true. I think I will probably like it, cause like, I think it'll be quite fun, cause when if you watch a lot of films, you realize that you like to have that kind of contrast. Like, you cannot have always like one side being always the good guy. You need like,
Right.
both sides, like,
Showing perspectives.
perspectives.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So that film also has a very powerful message about war and like the impact.
I see. I mean, yeah, like back to the question. I think for me, one of it was actually Spirited Away. I think I watched it when I was very very super young. I think it was about 8. Yeah.
8 years
Wow.
old. Wow.
I don't even know what it was. It was
Okay.
also. I thought like, it's actually the cinematography was great. And it's like, I mean, it's interesting. The story was nice. Yeah.
But were you able to understand the
I was
message?
able to understand the message. I was like, because back then, you don't have that kind of like, like thinking when you're watching a film, like, you don't absorb it. So until like later on, you as you grow older, then you start absorbing films as it is. So I only start to appreciate later part of my life. Yes, I think I watched it another time when I was with my friends.
Okay.
Yeah, around secondary, sec 2, sec 3, like that.
Sec 2,
yeah,
sec 3,
it's just that kind of films that I don't want to watch. Yeah, let's just watch Spirited Away. So, okay, let's just watch.
So
Yeah.
I think it's interesting then that this Studio Ghibli type of movies are ageless, in a sense that when you're young, you watch them for maybe the cinematography, the art, the color, maybe the fantasy world. But as you grow older and you have more life experiences, and then you go back and rewatch it, and you realize that there's so many things I didn't realize about it. The meanings or the stories in between that wasn't obvious to you when you were a kid, but now a bit more obvious as you grow older, and you now have a better appreciation of what life is all about.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Honestly, I totally agree. I still watch them even now. Like I think even before today's recording, I was watching The Wind Rises.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was the World War II one. If I
The
remember.
World War II one, yeah.
Yes.
I think that was a special film because originally Hayao Miyazaki announced that was going to be the last film he ever made before he retired.
That's what he says all the time.
Was that the 2013 one? Because I think he
so.
took a hiatus of about
Around
10
there,
years,
yeah.
right? Yeah, okay.
So that was always one of the most poignant films for me.
I think he's not gonna retire anytime. It's
Yes.
just I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna come back in a few years with another idea for another film.
Yeah, you never know.
So what is it about Wind Riser that you watched?
That really struck me. Because I think it's one of the films that, because there's a period of time that I stopped watching Studio Ghibli films, like entirely. Either whether it was due to interests or like just changing themes. So then I just happened on a pirated copy of The Wind Rises. Yeah, Studio Ghibli, don't cancel me. But yeah. So when I was watching it, I just fell in love with the visuals, the scenery, and I was just amazed because it was such a interesting perspective into World War II era Japan, especially coming from us because we are recording this from Singapore, right? And then Singapore was invaded by Japan.
Yep, correct. That's
And
true.
the memories of World War II are still very visibly present. But like, so for me, I think it just taught me a lot just to empathize as well, like with
What goes on the other side?
what goes on the other side. Then you see like even people, because the guy, the main character of Wind Rises, he just wants to build a good plane. He's not even thinking about like the whole wartime application. And he does build a fantastic plane, and in the end, you kind of just think like wow, it's just so inspiring to see this passion that people put, and how Studio Ghibli conveys all these different emotions. Yeah.
It's pretty much the same as how when was it Albert Einstein who came out with it was Albert Einstein, right?
Okay, which
came out
one?
with the formula for E equals to MC squared.
Yes,
he just
Albert
wanted to
Is that okay? I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah.
E equals MC squared, yes.
Yes.
Albert Einstein came up with that.
and how he just wanted to, he thought that with this he could do good for the humankind to generate more energy and power, but yet they used it to go and create the nuclear bomb.
Then
I'm getting
Oppenheimer.
it correctly, right? But I mean the whole idea of when
Okay, I think I get where you're coming from. I think I get where you're coming from.
yeah. Where inventors create something because they want to do good for the mankind, but then the other side of people use that technology to create into a weapon of mass destruction.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's true. On the topic of this, what would be your favorite Studio Ghibli film of them all?
Oh wow, that's a really tough one.
Okay, to be honest, I've only watched like 2 to 3. So I think it would be a better question to ask Nicholas firstly, because since he has watched all of them and he gave his perspective.
Sure, Nicholas. Now, which one is your most favorite one of them all?
I can't believe I watched all of them.
I can't believe.
No, by the way you just make it sound, I was like just thinking to myself, wow, I really did watch all of them.
I mean, I would love to watch all of them, but I'm very selective on my films, so I think I didn't manage to watch everything. I was like, the one that's visually very appealing, I will start watching. But as for you, what do you think is your favorite, or what you feel that is your favorite?
Yeah, I think I gotta say, still to this day, Porco Rosso. Because I studied political science, so naturally you also had to be a very big history buff. So I studied a lot about Italy, especially during World War II. And the Italy during World War II that actually happened in history is very different from what's featured in Porco Rosso. But that's what draws me so much to it. It's like the pure fantasy of it all, like airplane pirates, like kind of just racing each other down along these really like just dreamy, like idyllic beaches. Then Porco Rosso is like a secret hideout that you never think would exist in real life. Okay. And then I think it's also all the messages and themes. But I think for me the most important of all is like the music as well in Porco Rosso. I always think back to it. I still listen to it every now and then.
Is it like a very Italian vibe, or what kind of music?
I think it's more like very nostalgic vibe. You think about those gone by days when you listen to it. And in a way that's a lot of the messages of Porco Rosso, or I mean, at least what I took away from it, even at this one point of history where you think it's going to be the peak of everything and it's going to be swept away the next second, and you're just going to look back at it and like this like dear memory. But yeah, I think that's good. It teaches us to treasure moments in life a bit more, treasure life a bit more.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but after your recommendation, maybe that'll be the next Ghibli movie that I will
Definitely.
Next video we can do a group watch of Porco Rosso.
Definitely, yes.
Like a marathon, right?
I mean, for me, I think my favorite, right? I can't decide because I think I watch a lot. I watch Grave of Fireflies. I watch like the Boy and Heron. I watched the Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and quite a few lah. But if you ask me which one I would choose, right, it's always down to actually just 3 by itself only. Because end of the day, it's either Grave of Fireflies.
Right.
Because I like you, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm also a World War II buff, so I like to see World War II and like that all that kind of things. After that, Princess Mononoke, because I think like what you said, the love triangle, and then also the message also. And then I think Boy and the Heron is also pretty good, but that's why I can't choose between the two, the three itself, because both three of this film, right, is a very soulful movie. You can really see the soul emulating from the movies itself when it comes to the human emotions, and after that the messages, and also it's very how to say when it comes to like what I said, digestibility, it's very easy to digest these films itself. At least in my own opinion lah. Yeah. So I mean, if you ask me now, right, which one would I choose, right? Maybe I watch like the Boy and Heron like very recently. So I think Boy and Heron might be something that I think is one of my favorites. Yeah, because at the same time I think religion wise, there's a lot of Shinto and also a lot of Buddhism, kind of like ideology behind the movie itself when it comes to like like letting go, and also at the same time like when it comes to like acceptance, cause end of the day the main character Mahito, who he didn't accept that his mom died, so he like he self like blame himself, and then after that, later on in the story he slowly start to accept that he needs to start accepting that his mom has passed away and he has to move on. So it's a lot of like moving on and like acceptance and death, tragedy. Death. Yeah, I can't. My lingo cannot.
It's
yes.
okay. It's okay.
So yeah,
It's
tragedy and yes, all these kind of stuff. It comes in like I think it's very personal to me in a way also, cause in terms of religion and stuff like that. So thus I think it's one of my favorites lah. One of my top. If I say like top ranking is like there's 3, but then it's like which one is it? I would say maybe it's this one has a slightly higher rating.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Studio Ghibli films really draw a lot of emotions, don't
Yes,
they?
correct.
It does. I mean, I was just watching The Boy and Heron as we all was just setting up.
Wait, that's what you guys were doing? Yeah. Wait. So how was it?
How was it?
Yeah, how was it? Yes.
To be honest, after watching it, I had to Google and asked, "What is this show about?" Yeah, but I think that's the beauty of watching a Studio Ghibli movie, is because it's not, the messages are not always in your face. You really you have to second guess what the artist, what the director is trying to portray, as he talks about all these things about death and moving on and going into a fantasy world and trying to like, I don't know, think back about his look, even finding his mom when he was younger, in this fantasy world and stuff. So to be honest, I haven't really absorbed what that show is about, but maybe I will talk about the other one that I just watched earlier today, which is Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh.
I was going through, I was like, okay, what Ghibli studio movie I should watch, and it was the first one that appeared on recommendation, and it was, I've always been interested in that artwork of hers with Kiki in her red bow and a black dress. I thought it was very interesting, and with a black cat as well. So I finished watching the whole show. It had some peaks, but mostly it was quite it was like quite it's an easy watch, but as I reflect about the storyline, that's when I thought about like, hey, why did Kiki why did she lose her magic? What was the cost of it? And then that's when you start reflecting behind like what happened prior to that. What led her to suddenly not have her magic anymore? Was it the loss of confidence? Was it the change in her environment? Was it part of her growing up, or responsibilities and stuff? So there's a lot of thought-provoking questions that comes into your mind when you watch these movies. And I think the producers make it so purposeful like that, not giving the messages in your face.
Right.
You have to really think about it in order to get the message.
Yeah, but I think when it comes to the other films, I think it's much more easier. I think, but I feel that Boy and the Heron, it's a bit harder, especially for Western, like for Ang Mohs. I think they might not be able to catch it at all. Yeah, but I think when it comes to it, it does take a bit of like, I think it needs a second watch, to be honest. I think because personally, I watched the first time, I get the story, but however certain parts of the story I don't get it. But however, once I start watching my second watch, I was like, oh, actually this one, there's actually more to it. It's like you need to keep on watching to really understand what the director Hayao Miyazaki is actually trying to portray with the film itself, because it's really like his own, I think in a way it's like his own discovery of himself also at the same time. Like it's a message to the world that in a way that it's enough, I have done enough, something like that. I feel I don't know, I mean that's what I'm getting from the movie after the second watch. It's like acceptance and
that it's time to move
correct
on.
time to move on.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have you watched The Boy and Heron?
I have, yeah.
And what's your take from it?
You know, actually, when I finished that film, the first thing I heard was from the seat in front of me. The guy said, "Huh? The movie over?" And I was like,
Actually, one thing I realized about
yeah,
Miyazaki films, right, is that it always ends very oddly.
abruptly.
Yes, it's like to the point, like, you thought that there's still another story, but it doesn't end off very well. Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's I think one thing about Miyazaki films. I realized that sometimes
It's his signature.
it's his signature. Like all the films doesn't really end off on a like like you don't know it ended off. It's just like cut. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
correct.
like for Kiki, it actually ended off quite suddenly. But then because I was like, what's happening? So I actually continued watching the credits, and actually the story continued into the credits. So
Yeah,
if you
it's
actually
true.
watch the credit, they actually continued showing what happened to her after she saved the boy, and how she got her magic bag, and all the cats having new family members and stuff like that. Yeah, so maybe we do need to continue watching into the credits to
Yeah.
see what happened.
So in this case, when I watched Boy and Heron, I knew it was based off Miyazaki's like childhood experiences. So I kind of just really went to the movie just blanked, and I think I can kind of see some of the feelings and like how he saw the world growing up as well, how the war impacted his own life, and yeah, I think it's a very deep reflection of who he is as a person. But yeah, I'll just stop it at there because sometimes if you overanalyze a movie, you don't really get to
It's
enjoy it.
actually-
Yeah,
you don't get to enjoy it. Yeah, it becomes like a
You know.
cesspool. Like you just keep digging deeper, and that you don't know. You get
Yeah.
lost in it. Yeah.
because sometimes you keep looking for these very deep messages. You don't notice all the amazing things happening in the movie. So, and one of the really great strengths of Boy and Heron is the visuals.
Yes, yes.
So you see all the swirls, all the actions. It's like blends fantasy, sci-fi.
Yeah, how
realism.
the parakeets, the
Oh.
giant parakeets.
Yeah, it's a giant parrot. Oh wow, I did not expect a parakeet.
I mean,
Parakeets
they're
are
like
actually
nerf
very
birds,
cute.
alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How on earth did they become like human eating?
See, I didn't even think about the fact they're lovebirds. I just thought, oh, a parakeet. Oh, that's an interesting choice of bird. Yeah.
Out of all the birds they can choose, they choose lovebirds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
So I mean, we have watched quite a number of films really, like in terms of Ghibli. So what would be like, do you have any like those kind of like moments where you watch Studio Ghibli, where the scenes are actually deeply emotional that you still think of it to now? Do you have those kind of like kind of certain scenes that you on Studio Ghibli that leaves a very very deep impact on you?
I think for me it's from Princess Mononoke. Like I mentioned, I watched it like almost 10-20 years ago. More, I think 20 years ago. And that time when I was much younger, the one scene that really disturbed me was when they cut off the deer's head. And as a young person, and then you see this and you're like, and how everything became so grotesque,
That's actually
and
not
all the
a-
blood spilling out and stuff, and you're like, oh my goodness, what is this? I'm
That's
watching.
not a beard though. That's a mix of a monkey and a bird. I don't know.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I don't think Lena was thought about that when she was on the scene.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I mean, before watching a lot of anime, I was always into the English kind of Western animation, and you don't see these things. Everything is very clear and clean cut. You don't see things morphing into one another. You see a lot of blood spilling out and things like that. So it's like, I was a bit, that was disturbing for me. Yeah, but of course it's only when you're much older, when I became much older, that I realized the symbolism behind that scene. But as a young child, I was like, oh, I don't think I would. I mean, to today, I can still remember it in my head, even though it's like so many years ago already. Yeah.
It's okay. No, fair enough. I don't blame her too much. It's like it is quite graphic. You're looking
It is
back.
quite graphic. Even the action scenes, right? The guy's like holding a sword and the head comes off straight away. It's like he's not dead yet. He's still alive. You're like, yeah.
Wow.
That scene is it is quite horrifying if let's say you're like very very young. Yeah. Lucky I didn't watch those kind of scenes
When you were young, is
Yeah,
it?
correct. That's why Spirited Away was like very mild. Like, it's alright.
But when you see No Face, do you not feel like, oh, who's
no,
this?
it's
And
not
then you
that
get
scary,
nightmares
that.
after that?
No, that.
Oh, don't
I think
have,
Sadako was even more scary than No Face. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I mean, No Face is animated, so it's not that bad. But then,
Right.
however, when it comes to Sadako, like you're watching on the TV, so you imagine that he's coming out from the TV itself. So yeah, okay. When we're young, it's like nope, I'm not gonna watch it.
But
Yeah.
growing up, don't you have always had like this black shadowy thing that you're always afraid of in standing in some corner?
Under your bed.
Yeah, or that.
That's why my bed is like got nothing below.
There's nothing below, so
Yes.
that's how you eliminate the problem. There's
Yes,
just
you
nothing
eliminate the
under
problem.
your
There's nothing below. It's like drawer, so you just
Okay.
no ghost is gonna be inside my drawer.
bed. So if no face is not like the most striking moment, then what's the most striking moment for you, Ghibli-wise?
I think Grave of Fireflies.
Grave of
I
Fireflies.
think that's why I keep saying Grave of Fireflies. I think I really like the film also.
Right.
The entire the brother and sister stuck in World War II. Then after that trying to survive, but end up both passing away.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's like that, especially when the sister dies, it's like so sad. Yeah. It gives me PTSD for quite a while, but it's yeah, but it's so good. Yeah, you don't get this kind of like war films. Yeah, I
Right.
mean you do get war films, but then in this kind of like context and in this kind of like like how to say this kind of feeling, and especially I recently I read about it also, while doing a bit of research, because fact that some there are a lot of things that I kind of forgot about it also. So actually I was researching it's actually based on the novel of the same name itself also.
Lord
Yeah.
of the Flies, is it?
Yeah,
Oh.
Grave of the Fireflies. It's actually based on the novel of the same name.
Oh, okay.
And the author actually is writing the experiences that he had when his sister passed on. So it's like a one-for-one recreation.
I
Yeah,
see,
okay.
I see.
Yeah.
I see, I
so it's
see.
like wow, this is like it's like in a way when he was writing the story, it's kind of like him sort of like making up for the loss of his sister. Yeah.
Okay. Did his sister also pass away
Yeah,
during
yeah.
the World War II?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's like it's a one-for-one recreation of what you see in the film and what you see on the novel itself or whatever on any media. About Grave of Fireflies, it's actually really what he experienced and what he described is really what really happened with his sister.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's based on like a true story. Lah.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
it's quite a strong emotional connection for you.
Yes, correct,
Yeah.
correct. I mean, back then, when I first started watching anime, it's like you just be like, oh, what should I watch? And after Grave of Fireflies came out, I was like, okay, sure, I
Okay.
shall watch this. It's
So
not
just-
a good way to start, but yeah. But that was recommended on Google, so blame Google for that.
But that's the amazing thing about anime, because I think unlike other type of animation, it really goes deep to explore
Yeah.
human emotions, and they're not shy to talk about these topics that that could be very adult, very deep, that and they use a more how to say youthful, childish
Yeah.
kind of medium to bring that message across.
Yeah. I think that brings me to my favorite point, which is it's the end of The Wind Rises. So spoilers alert: Japan doesn't win World War II. But yeah, so
Wow.
We totally
So-
didn't know that.
Yes, we didn't know that.
some people don't know. Okay, but
I thought
yeah.
the anime was World War II.
So at that film, the protagonist is kind of standing in this he's dreaming, and then he's dreaming, and he's standing in this field of all these destroyed planes from both American and Japanese sides, and then one of his mentors, or the people he looks up to, this Italian flight designer, comes up to him and just talks with him about the futility of war. Then I was thinking, oh, what a sad way to end this very beautiful movie. Then it's but I think it's so for me that always struck me a lot. Especially him seeing just take pride in his creation. So, wow. Now I'm gonna watch it again now.
Did you watch?
I have to watch it for the 5th time.
Did you first watch it when you were much younger, or when you were more like an adult already?
Nah, I watched it when I was I guess younger. Yeah, I watched it when I was 17,
Oh, okay.
and that was just by chance, because I always knew The Wind Rises was there. I just never watched it.
I think Studio Ghibli films are always there, just that we just didn't have the time to watch it. When we watch it, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
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 But I think it's not a movie. It's not a show that you can really watch on marathon though, because every one of them, after you finish watching it, to be honest, I think it's a bit tiring.
That's quite emotionally taxing
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
emotionally
correct. It is,
taxing.
it
You
is,
cannot
yes.
continue watching them on a marathon. Unlike
Definitely.
I don't know,
No, you need to
those
mix it.
shonen kind of, you can keep watching and people
Right.
fighting and attacking, right? But this one cannot. You have to take a break in between all of them.
I think
I think can.
Can
You
we?
just need to make not in sequential order, but I think it's you need to really pick out parts of it, maybe Kiki Delivery Service, and you go ahead with like Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Not like you watch like
all the World War II one.
World War II,
Yeah.
or like Boy and the Heron. So if you watch Boy and the Heron first, then you watch like Kiki Delivery Service, you're so brain dead already. Then you gotta watch another Ghibli movie. So it does I think you really need to handpick the movies to watch in sequence itself. Yeah, marathon can, but I think need to pick need to really.
I don't recommend a marathon because I did an anime movie marathon once. It was for the Evangelion series.
Which series?
Evangelion.
Okay, Evangelion.
Because it was the last Evangelion movie that released. So I watched all 4 of my friends. We were there from like 9 to 6 p.m. That was taxing. And I mean, those films aren't... Okay, sure, there's like very deep messaging, whatever. But yeah, like it's not as a deep emotional feeling as you get like, watching from a Studio Ghibli film. So, maybe just do it once every day or like,
I
with
think
friends and
perhaps
stuff.
once every day, and you will be able to finish it within a month.
Yeah, I think roughly a month.
Yeah, but fun fact, there's actually 23 Studio Ghibli movies.
No, actually, you will still be available for at least another 3 more days to fill up. I think around there. 31 days a month, you got 23 days, then you are
like you can take some one or 2 days break in
Got so
between.
much time to watch how many movies?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't think anime movie marathon works. Yeah. I won't recommend it. Yes.
Yeah, I think you can binge on a series, but it's very hard to binge on a movie because one thing about Studio Ghibli movies is that every single movie is different.
That's true,
They are always introducing new characters, new worlds, new lore behind it. So it takes time for you to actually watch and understand like, what's this world building? What's this new world that this character is in? What's this character's personality? What she's fighting for, he's fighting for, and what he's struggling with and stuff. So it's very hard to then binge. Unlike a series where you can actually keep binging because you're following the same characters all the time. Yeah.
That's true also, yes. I mean, like what I said, I think Studio Ghibli, when it comes to it, there's a start and there's an end.
Yeah.
There's a definite end. Yeah, so it won't have like a season 2 kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, correct.
Season 2.
Yes.
Sequel. Yeah.
Correct. So I think I think end of the day, I think it's easier if you watch something that doesn't end. It takes a long while to end. Then you watch one story by itself. Then you go on to the next story.
Right.
Then you go on the next story. I think it does. Like what I said, it can get very taxing because you're emotionally invested. Then after you're putting your emotions in another emotionally invested movie.
Yeah,
so
I think you got to recalibrate your mind and think about the new characters again.
Correct.
But then again, it's actually very amazing as I think about the world building, the capabilities of Studio Ghibli is that how do they find it in that, how are they so imaginative and creative that every single movie is based on something totally different and so wild. Yeah, I guess some of it is based on their folklore, I suppose. Yeah, but otherwise it's like you would never imagine someone like a no-face character. Where did that come from? And how he can eat stuff and grow big,
I think it's actually in the minds of Hayao Miyazaki, so it's like it's on in his brain, that's why.
Maybe he was thinking of a garbage bag or something, and I don't know.
Yeah, you don't need to read too deeply into it.
Correct. It could be that he was walking on the road and then like, this one is interesting.
Sounds about right.
Maybe let me pull this garbage bag and put on my head. Oh, actually I look like the next character in my show.
Boom, yes, that's the character I'm gonna use in the next show. Could be the parakeets also, same thing. Hayao Miyazaki maybe walk past a bird shot, like, this parakeet is quite interesting. Okay, you are in my next movie now.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's true. There's beauty in everyday life. I do photography on the site, which is called Argus Photos, and so sometimes if you really slow down and just look around you notice all these small little really pretty amazing things. Yeah, I think there's anyone can make that creativity and imagination happen for and then produce great things like Studio Ghibli.
True. So also at the same time, when it comes to Studio Ghibli, do you guys think that it's suitable for children? Because end of the day, I think some of these movies can be a bit not so intended for kids itself. Yeah, because a lot of people will say like Studio Ghibli, it's for kids, but to matter of fact, do you think it's for kids also? Yeah.
Oh, I had a really funny story for this. Because when I was younger, I was interning as an assistant teacher, and I was teaching primary 4, so a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds. And we had a storybook time, so the teacher invited me, hey, can you bring in a book to read to the kids? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So I go home, I decide, hey, I got a picture book for My Neighbor Totoro. I thought it'd be quite funny, quite cute. Totoro's cute, yeah, and the maid and the sister, whatever. So I bring in, then it's going pretty alright. So we're going through the whole book. Then we get to a dialogue where their mom gets sick. And then they start saying things like, oh no, please don't let mom die, oh no. Then I just thought to myself, hey, wait a second. Am I supposed to be reading this to kids? I don't remember this part of the book. I don't remember this part of the movie happening.
You didn't?
No?
But wasn't that the whole reason why she escaped into this fantasy world and follow after Totoro and stuff, because she was trying to run away from realities?
I'm not gonna remember that. I watched it when I was a kid. I don't remember that. I'm not gonna remember every single line of dialogue.
Okay.
But
so how do you recover from that?
how do I recover from that? Oh, I didn't. I can just spread through it. I just laughed at my kids. Because my kids were also laughing. They saw I was quite uncomfortable. Then my head teacher was laughing. So it was just a good laugh for all of us. Because it was just quite a funny situation. But yeah, sometimes not all of the movies are suitable for kids. So for example, let me think. Maybe Grave of the Fireflies.
That is definitely not for kids, man.
I think because you have to be of a certain age maybe to understand what's going on and the whole context behind it. But also other films, for example, Wind Rises is one, Boy and a Heron as well.
Yeah, that those two films are I think can be quite mind-boggling for kids to even comprehend what is happening.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the animation for that old man inside the heron is actually quite scary.
Yeah, the way he pops out and then the
how
tongue flies everywhere.
He's big open and suddenly you see teeth
oh.
inside it, and I was like, whoa, what on earth is this? I think for a young child that could be quite disturbing.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think are there any films you would not recommend for kids to watch? Studio Ghibli
Definitely
films?
not Princess Mononoke.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I would though. I think
You would?
I mean,
Okay, alright. So why would you?
Assuming that Princess Mononoke is still alright, because you don't have the splatter. When it comes to animation, you cut off the arm splatters.
Okay.
But this one is just pork chop. You just cut through and then you just then after you see the bone, and then after that the meat, and then there's no blood coming out from it.
Okay. Wow.
Alright.
So that there's no blood, so I think it's still alright. But I think in a more broader concept, I think when it comes to Princess Mononoke, I think it's still okay. In my own opinion, yeah, because I think it's not that bad compared to there are even worse Studio Ghibli films like Grave of Fireflies. That one is gonna give you the person nightmares throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I think parents who want to let their children watch Studio Ghibli movies, they probably have to watch it themselves first, understand the message, then watch it with your kid. Because your kid is going to probably end up asking you a lot of questions about it. Why the person like that? Why the person like that? And as a parent, you must have the answers. But I suppose it could also be a good starter to talk about certain deep topics if you need to talk about it. Like if maybe there's death in the family, and you need to talk to your kid about it, but you don't know how to start the conversation.
Yes,
and then perhaps watching such a movie might be useful as a starter, and talk about how in this show Mahito, for example, lost his mother, but he kind of move on, and now after all these struggles and stuff, he realized that change is inevitable and he just needs to move on. Then you tell the message to the kid, perhaps.
I still cannot get over the fact that the father married the younger sister.
Yeah, that is also really.
But I was just reading the commentary about this, but that was the whole Miyazaki's point, that he wanted to show how fast change progressed for him. While Mahito was still grieving, right? The father already moved on, married the sister, impregnated her, and he's supposed to move to the countryside, start a new family. Yeah, I think it was purposefully done to show that drastic, stressful situation that he would be going through.
Wow.
That's why I think it's a very human movie, but then however I think it can be a bit hard to comprehend, especially for kids. That's why I say Boy and Heron is good, but then however if you're not I think maybe when you are more older, I think the movie will kind of resonate. Yeah, but however, if you've never gone through any life experiences, I think the movie might not be able to resonate as well. Because it's about dealing with loss, acceptance, and also changes and psychological issues. Why Mahito use the rock and smash his head?
I was like, what was that for?
Hey, even adults have trouble understanding it. I don't think kids will.
I think it's not I think he's just blaming himself. It's like he cannot accept it. Yes, he needs. It's like when people they are stressed, they want something to
self-harm.
Yeah, they self-harm. Yes,
Okay.
something like that. So that's why I think for me, I don't think that all Studio Ghibli movies are suitable. Maybe Totoro is the least of the if kids running Totoro, Spirited Away, and
I think Kiki's moving service is actually delivery service is actually pretty good for kids as well.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. I mean, there are some messages, but it's a fun ride as well. Because if you think about her being able to ride on a broom and fly everywhere she wants to go, and starting out on an adventure at the age of 13. Yeah. So I think that is
Okay.
I think that's quite a easy show for young kids to watch.
Yeah, I will also recommend Ponyo. No?
Ponyo.
Although I haven't watched it yet.
Ponyo is the one with
The fish, right?
So it's the one where the boy
boy
makes
in
friends with
the-
the fish, and the fish grows into a girl. I think that's also
What?
quite
The fish goes into a girl.
Well, yeah, because stuff happens, and then
Yeah, stuff happens. Always stuff happens.
stuff happens in a Studio Ghibli film. Some bit of magic there. Probably one of two weird moments, but overall, I think it's quite fun because it's quite a fun movie. The song is quite cute as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna comment on that, but yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What? What's wrong with Ponyo?
Yes. So also we come to our last question already. So Studio Ghibli films, they are more hand-drawn. They use they are more traditional in terms of their artistry and also in terms of their artwork compared to nowadays. We are going to a very digital era, so a lot of animation studios are going more digital instead. So what would be your preferences when it comes to these two? Do you prefer the more traditional kind of drawing, or do you prefer the more digital kind of artwork by itself?
Okay. That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a super tough one.
Yeah.
That's why it's safe for the last.
Okay, you got a point there.
I don't know, but I mean, in this world that we are living in, everything is being digitized, right? And because that's just how, because people want things better and faster. Everywhere, better and faster. I don't think any studio can wait 10 years or 5 years for you to slowly hand draw every single scene and have enough screens and frames to make a movie. So that and the demand is there for you to create more and more today. So I think in order to sustain and in order to meet the demands from the fans, you need to go digital, to be honest. And if you want to have those animation Demon Slayer type, where the fight scenes and all the fire and I go whoa kind of thing, I don't think hand-drawn animation can do that.
With Kenshin, Rory Kenshin is one.
Really?
Yeah, back then.
That's true.
I think you can actually do that also. But I think when it comes to art style and also the it might not look as cool, but however I think it looks as cool also at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, but it's cool, but it's not as cool as digital, but it's still as cool. It is cool by itself.
Yeah, but then at the same time, of course, the roots of where all these animation come from was hand-drawn, right? That's where before we moved into digital. So definitely it is an art form that is a traditional art form that we don't want to lose lah. And it's good that Studio Ghibli is keeping to its roots and helping to preserve a art form that is soon going to be, I suppose, lost at some point of time. So it's a bit sad, but yet, if you follow Miyazaki's message, change is inevitable.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess you could say it's a sign of the times. I mean, because it's also much more expensive to do hand-drawn stuff nowadays.
Definitely.
I think if you look at very classic hand-drawn movies, let's say Akira, or even my personal favorite, Y'all don't know Macross, right?
I know, I heard of it, but I never watched it.
It's some Gundam type.
You say Gundam.
I'm sorry.
Oh my
some,
gosh.
mecha
Nina, we're
type.
gonna second episode we're gonna get cancelled.
Oh sorry.
Yeah,
Like
so
mecha type.
Gundam.
Gun name.
Majika.
Gun
Najakore.
name.
Anyways, like Gundam.
Gundam.
So it's like a
Yeah,
mecha
sorry.
anime, but like what made it so special was like it was almost all hand drawn. So like, and then you have like all these sequences where like these 90 missiles are flying all out, like all different trajectories, and it's all hand drawn every single frame. That takes a lot of effort and talent. So sometimes with these things you just have to just appreciate it, because yeah, we may not be able to get it back, but it doesn't mean like we should just look down completely on digital. Like I think in the past few years, some of the best works I've seen are digital. Like for example, Kyoto Animation, Violet Evergarden. Wow,
That's good.
I cry every episode, man. I don't even cry that much usually. Just watching TV or like any show. Like wow.
Okay, I mean that's I mean, Violet Evergarden is good, but I didn't cry every episode.
It's okay. That's due.
I do have my reservation for the plot, but we shall discuss it next time.
Okay, that's okay. That's for you. That's for me.
We'll
One
talk
day,
about
one day,
all
yeah.
those sad animes.
Yes.
But yeah, I think there's a way to coexist. And yeah, we shouldn't just look down on both. I think we just cherish both for what they are.
Yeah, correct. I think each serve its purpose.
Yeah. I mean, we won't get all these like iconic moments that animators have created over the years. Like, for example, look at Studio Trigger. You know how many like iconic works they made? Gurren Lagann, Promare. You guys watch those shows?
Gurren Lagann, I also heard about it, but I
Okay.
never watched it. Like what I always say, I'm very I don't know, I'm just very selective for my anime.
Okay, alright, okay,
It's
that's
in my
okay.
list, but however, it never progressed. Like
Okay.
further up.
Alright, take your time. Take your time. It's okay.
I think it's the same. It's a sign of the times. It's the same thing with fan art as well. When
yeah?
you go to artists, at least nowadays, long time ago, you used to have the art. You pay the artist on the spot, and he commissions the artwork right there and then for you. You come back maybe 1-2 hours later and collect the drawing, and you know that's one and only for you. It's drawn on the spot. But nowadays, everywhere you go, it's like everything is digitally printed, and then
that's
it's
true.
like when it runs out, it's like, no, I go behind, I go and print a copy for you. I'm like, I mean, yes, at least I get it. I mean, I still have it, but yet I know that I'm able to bring this copy
Okay.
home. But yet, so does like 100 over other people out there will have the same copy as well.
Okay, true.
So I guess it's a bit of that as well.
I think the best example of this, right, because like you want to do an experiment of this, right, they have the same anime, but however one is hand drawn and another one is fully digital. I think maybe right, Evangelion can be one of it, because last time they were all hand drawn, and also at the same time, right, they came out with the remake, which is like the 4 movies, which is more digital. But I think that I still prefer the old ones, although like the original sucked. I heard. I'm still at episode 10. So I haven't finished it, but I really like
I won't spoil it.
You don't spoil it for me. I roughly know what happens at the end, but
Roughly.
don't spoil it. Yes, roughly. Yeah, I mean, come on, it's been out for 20 over years already. If I don't see any spoilers on the internet, I must be like hiding under a rock. Yeah. Yes. So like I think I think back then when it comes to more soulful, like I know it's not soulful, like in terms of this kind of hand drawn mangas and animes, I think they sometimes have a bit of like slight imperfections to them that makes them good. But however, at times goes by with this kind of like more digital stuff, right? I think it's too simply just too perfect really. Yeah. But however, like it's at the same time, right, may not be as good as such, like hand drawn drawings by itself. Yeah. I mean that's personally how I feel lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you really like I don't know. I feel there's a certain charm to it lah. Not saying that there isn't. There's a certain charm to hand drawn animes.
Yeah, so I guess for you it's more towards hand drawn than
Both
are.
Yes.
Okay.
I suppose in this, bringing out the topic of this digital world is also because of AI as well. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, the AI thing.
I don't want to go too much into that, but the idea here is that if everything is digital, it's very easy to copy, and AI can easily replicate it. But these little imperfections that you're talking about with hand drawn stuff, creations, is that it's much harder to replicate and to duplicate. Yeah, so maybe And I heard some artists even mention before that nowadays they will just have to they have to purposely put imperfections in their drawings so that they don't run the risk of AI copying their work.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I think AI is quite scary. If you can copy someone's work, I think it can be quite. Yeah, but that is a topic for
another time.
Yeah, I can already imagine what Hayao Miyazaki would say about
Yes,
AI.
Yes, but end of the day, I think that's I think our thoughts of it. I think we can come to a consensus that both of we do enjoy the hand-drawn drawings, and also at the same time we also do enjoy the modern digital artworks and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think we have come to our end of our second episode already. So we'll review to you who is the 3 Batman actors that has actually acted in Studio Ghibli movies.
I'm really surprised. Who is it exactly?
Actually, one of it is actually Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton?
Yes, Michael Keaton is actually Porco Rosso in the English dub.
That makes a lot more sense now.
Then there's also,
I've only watched the Japanese one now. Yeah, that makes.
Because to be honest, I also never watched the English version.
Okay.
I mean, come on, I'm not saying the English version is bad. But I think that you will watch it for
the feels, right?
For the Japanese, yes, because they can articulate it better.
I didn't watch it for the Japanese. I mean, I just had the Japanese one on hand at the time.
It's like watching a film. You're not gonna watch
James Bond in Japanese
dub. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so it's I mean, I didn't watch it, but I know that he's inside it. Yeah,
Michael Keaton. Wow.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Then next is actually Christian Bale. He actually voiced the Soichi Damaki, the father of in Boy and the Heron.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
The father is actually Christian Bale.
Correct.
Oh, voiced by Christian Bale. Okay.
So he also the voice of House in House Moving Castle also at the same time. So yes, he's actually there.
That's what you remember? No, that's okay. That's what a lot of people remember.
And finally, our latest Batman, Robert Pattinson.
Oh, which one was he?
Pattinson. He's actually the Grey Heron in The Boy and the Heron.
What?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also, they have 2 Batman in The Boy and Heron.
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and also at the same time, right? Joker, right? Mark Hamill, our
Mark
Luke Skywalker. Okay. Yeah, that guy. So he actually voiced Colonel Masaka in the second language English version of the Castle in the Sky.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
This one I didn't know, because I did a bit of research. I know that Boy and Heron got quite a lot of Batman actors. Yes, because I saw the list. You even have Florence Pugh, which is a White Widow. Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they are jam packed with talents. So that's actually a fun fact.
Oh yeah, I did not know that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, so I mean it's a fun fact. So yes, we have actually come to the end of our second episode. So yes, since you guys are in our life, you have made it this far, just give us a like and follow, and also at the same time subscribe to us. Yes, I will see you.
Follow, and subscribe.
Yes, correct. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Okay, see
Alright,
you.
see you.
Bye.
Bye.